Thank you all for joining us at the amazing AI House and to hear the work that we're doing at the city on AI. We're especially excited to talk about the hackathon. You're going to hear from some amazing speakers today. It's going to be a really good day. To begin, though, want to start on September 11th with a moment of remembrance. If you will join me in a moment of silence for the almost 3,000 souls we lost in New York on that day, and what it reminded us as a nation. Thank you. My name is Rob Lloyd, and I have the honor of serving as the Chief Technology Officer for the City of Seattle and for you. And we're going to begin with some thanks for our gracious hosts here at the AI House. And this facility and all of the things that you do here is a remarkable reminder of how we are partners, and it's one of the reasons why Seattle stands out as a tech leader. Today you're going to hear from some wonderful Seattle leaders, including our great mayor, representatives from the kinds of partnerships that make our leadership stand out as Seattle. That includes AI2 Incubator, includes our friends from the University of Washington, and you also hear from the City of Seattle leaders. And to kick off the event, and we're going to set the tone for the hackathon, we're going to welcome Seattle's greatest advocate and my boss, Mayor Bruce Harrell.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you very much. So we thought we'd kick it off with a little music here. So I don't know if many of you know, I don't talk a lot about I'm a musician, so we're going to bring this. Will I get in trouble if I actually touch that? That's pretty impressive there. Okay, very good. I will not touch it. I do not know how to play the guitar. So pretty excited to share a little time and space with you this afternoon, this morning, in terms of what we're trying to do at the city, but probably more importantly, how we can help you pursue your dreams and aspirations in this space. I grew up as a technology lawyer coming out of law school, and I happened to be very fortunate to work in a space when they broke up the Bell system. And you may recall that in 1984, the Civil Enforcement Consent Order was the law that broke up the entire AT&T Bell system. At one point, there was just a thick monopoly, those that owned the landline facilities, the long-distance facilities. And what happened, according to Microwave Incorporated, who were the plaintiffs in the lawsuit that broke up the Bell system, was that the Bell Labs had suppressed the technology, the wireless technology that allowed the cell signal. They had been working in this space for decades, and they suppressed it. Why? Because they had a monopoly. And so when that had become wide open, I had the great fortune of being a telecom technology lawyer in that space and negotiated many deals, opening up. It's like the wild, wild west in what you could do. That's what we're into right now with AI. It is wide open, and we are competitive here in Seattle. We want to be the best of the best. We know that we will use it for good. We recognize there needs to be safety and security protocols in place, but here we are innovative and we are tech savvy, and so I look forward to seeing what all you can do. We are trying to be very intentional about positioning Seattle as a national leader in responsible artificial intelligence implementation. Make no mistake about that. We believe it'll position us to be not only a strong city in terms of our values, but as a port city, as a maritime city, as a biotech leader, as a high-tech leader. It really fits into our fabric as a city. We're prioritizing the concept of a human-in-the-loop approach to empower employees. So we're not trying to replace employees, but we're certainly trying to make sure that we're committed to labor partners to ensure this transition is managed with care and collaboration. When one door is closed in terms of a repetitive function, many more doors open for employment opportunity. So we're very intentional in that regard. Rob Lloyd introduced himself, but one part of his department is we are creating a position called the AI leadership position to join our Seattle IT team to coordinate efforts across the city, because we recognize we have to have structure in place to make sure your needs are met. So after 40 initial pilots, we're now focusing our AI work on top priorities of permitting, public safety, customer service, and accessible information. And let me just talk a little bit about that. And if you're thinking, maybe there's an opportunity to monetize these things the cities are working on, that's fair game, by the way. Faster permits. We know that AI could play an incredible role there. So we have a permit and customer team partnering with Civic Check to reduce permit processing times by up to 50% through error. That clearly time is money, and to the extent we can reduce permit processing times, this would be an added benefit for everyone involved in that process. Number two, safer streets. Transportation Department uses AI to identify a high-risk intersection as part of our Vision Zero commitment, which is our safety plan, and to partner with Metro on bus reliability improvements. Again, AI has made some remarkable headways in looking at the choke points of the city, the vulnerable areas, and how we can create safer streets will be of incredible importance to us. Better infrastructure. Public utilities uses AI to inspect pipes for early problem detection and streamlined employee services. So as we speak, we have physical infrastructure not only in Seattle, but in our dam facilities and our hydro facilities all over the state. And so this becomes critical work in terms of our infrastructure, capital projects work. Clearer communication. This is where we use AI for accessible materials and accurate translations, supporting inclusive information access, particularly in times of what we're seeing coming out of the Trump administration relative to due process violations and our attack on our immigrant and refugee communities. We realize that we have to be nimble, smart, accessible, and be prepared to deal with some of the nonsense we're seeing coming out of that office. We're home to nearly 25% of the nation's AI engineers. We are very proud of that. That's second only to San Francisco for AI concentration. And so when we look at the companies around here, our strategic public-private partnerships through organizations like this, AI House and the Seattle Climate Incubation Hub, they supporting startups for incubation to launch. We want to support you. We want to make sure we have the infrastructure, the leadership, the skill set to make sure we are advancing what you're trying to do. We will leverage our world-class institutions like the University of Washington, and a few of you I know we have some Huskies here in the room, and a robust technological ecosystem of entrepreneurs here. So in short, that the hackathon is always sort of fun. I can think of no better place to announce what we're trying to do when I'm describing our AI plan other than here, AI House. I think a first of a kind of collaborative and spirited organization to create this partnership between all of you as entrepreneurs and developers. We want to bring together our young students. We realize that's our bench strength right now, the entrepreneurs, the technologists, our city staff, community members, to solve, again, the top priorities that you see as residents here and employees here. So in the next few weeks of October, we'll hold a permitting process hackathon. I think I have to take the winner out to lunch. No, they didn't say that's not in my notes, but I'd be more than happy to do that. But let's lead the way here. Again, I open by saying we are very competitive here. We should be. That's why Seattle is on the map. The country looks at what we do. So let's use our competitive spirit to do good work in AI. Let's lead the way, and I look forward to continued partnership with all of you, and look forward to seeing the results of the hackathon. So thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. I look to a strong partnership with each and every one of you, and particularly the AI House. Thank you very much.
If I can share a little, I remember when I interviewed for the job, and the mayor and I had a conversation, and he actually shared with me he was born and grew up blocks from City Hall, and we talked about why would you come to Seattle, and he was like, and I asked him, things take time and investment, and he's like, I'm all in on Seattle, and I want good things for Seattle, and that's the kind of thing that you heard that drew me here. So one of the things about AI is there's so much talk that it sometimes can seem performative. And what you've heard from Mayor Harrell and his collaboration with the City Council and our community partners is the challenge that they've given us to be creating impact, that it has to be real. And one of the things that we've said as part of that is what we've created in our AI policy and our AI plan is something that creates action and impact, and it can't just be motion. There can't just be light and no heat. And in the policy that we've announced, and in the plan that you have access to, that is the direction that we've created. It is very much about people, and in that you see the controls that we've put in for our AI policy and our plan is to say that it has to go through responsible use. There is a security process, there is a privacy consideration, and as we go through that, we are also saying that we will enable AI to make the city of Seattle able to solve civic challenges. And as we do that, we activate the community. We say our partners are really important to us. And in that also, people matter in making the most important decisions. It doesn't displace people as we say the training has to happen. Policies do change, and the critical decisions ultimately come back to the humans. And you heard the mayor refer to that, and that human in the loop ethic is there. There are prohibited uses in that policy if you read it. There are high-risk uses, and we go through a process to make sure that it demands that people make those most critical decisions, that we do the right thing, that we correct where we need to correct, and that we challenge ourselves to measure the impact in terms of community. Because we all want that safer city, we all want that cleaner city, we want the opportunities for our community long-term. So with that, let me also say that our AI policy plan and partnerships work together, because Seattle's success with AI will be a function of all of us. And what you see in our relationships and the speakers you're about to hear from is that is a function of our employees and people. It's our companies and startups, it's our universities, it's our nonprofits, it's amazing young people like the hackathon you're gonna see a little later. So let me start with our first speaker, and that's Leah Tivoli. Leah Tivoli is our Director of Innovation and Performance for the City of Seattle, where she leads a team specializing in data science, evaluation, project management, and human-centered design. So Leah has been solving problems for the city for 17 years. She has 2 master's degrees because one wasn't enough. And they are in environmental health and public administration. But Leah, why don't you come on up and give us some information and brilliance.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leah Tivoli. I'm the director of City of Seattle's Innovation and Performance team. So I'm here today to get all of you humans in the loop in on how we City of Seattle are using AI in partnership with the community to solve real problems for residents, making services better, more responsive, more equitable, easier to access. When we solve problems, we co-create solutions with the communities most affected, and AI is no exception. The human-centered approach helps government work better for everyone and reflects our commitment to race and social justice. So as a demonstration of our commitment to equity, we've launched a Community Innovation Hackathon Series in partnership with the AI House, thank you, Ifan, so that together we can explore these new AI tools. These hackathons are hands-on spaces where students, technologists, public servants, and community members will work side by side to tackle real challenges, and all skill levels are welcome. Because many colleges and universities don't have AI programs, so students often learn the best through hands-on experimentation to understand that jagged edge, that jagged frontier of AI, as Mitch Weiss coined from the Harvard University. The best way to learn AI is to use AI by building side projects or joining hackathons like these. So we are excited that 2/3 of our hackathon participants here today are students, and 85% of them already have experience using AI. And so we have 3 hackathons on the calendar. We have one today that's focused on youth connection to services, in October about permitting, and in November, customer service. So let me talk a little bit about why we need a Youth Connector Hackathon. So last year, we heard directly from hundreds of teens through a mental health project that loneliness, stress, and anxiety are major sources of stress, and that having access to social, academic, and wellness programs can make a real difference. But finding those programs can be hard. Information is scattered across dozens of government agencies and nonprofits, and teams, let alone their parents or trusted adults, are overwhelmed trying to dig through it all. This is where AI can come in to solve one piece of this puzzle and break down these silos. We are challenging participants to design AI-powered tools that turn this scattered online information into a reliable, up-to-date catalog of youth enrichment opportunities to help young people quickly find programs that match their needs, interests, and schedules. So we're really grateful to the AI House again. We have like over 10 judges that are coming from city departments, Ada Developers Academy, Computing for All, local tech companies, and of course the youth that this product is trying to serve. Seattle Pizza and Bar Technology and Alliance is going to be serving lunch, and thank you to Technology Alliance and GeekWire for amplifying. So just a little more information about permitting and customer service that's next. Over the past 15 years, we have seen permitting nearly triple. This is not just one administration or two or three, we're talking like 5 administrations back. And it's, when we talk to developers and architects, they name code complexity, that's just increasing, navigating all the city departments that are involved, and finding answers in the myriad of online information. So we are really excited to get the community involved in solving some of these problems, surfacing the problems, and helping us come up with creative solutions. And we're calling this event the PACT Hackathon, or PACT-a-thon. Okay, so mark your calendars for October 9th. You can register at luma.com/PACT-a-thon, and you can find out more about PACT at maps.seattle.gov/PACT. We are taking a very human-centered design approach with this website. So right now we're in the discovery phase, and you'll be watching the information evolve as we get to more problem definitions, solutioning, and testing. So our partnerships with the community do not end at events. We're working, as the mayor mentioned, with CivCheck, because today more than 50 to 70% of permit applications start with missing or incomplete information. So this leads to multiple rounds of correction cycles and months of delay. So we are working with CivCheck to try and see if is it possible on the first go round to just get it right. I don't know. We'll see. We're working with them, and we'll be releasing results and working with community partners to test out this information. In addition, the City of Seattle has partnered with Stanford's Reg Lab to develop responsible use cases for AI in the area of code harmonization and reform. So if you're interested in these and many of the other projects we have on the team, visit the City Innovation Hub at seattle.gov. So in closing, I truly believe that we have an opportunity here in Seattle to be a leader and set the national standard for responsive, inclusive civic AI, and I'm so excited you're here with us today. So thank you.
So continuing that theme, you'll hear over and over again, the cities want to get outside city hall walls and outside of municipal tower. You heard from the mayor, we have the second biggest epicenter of AI talent, and our ability to activate that is key to our success. So you've seen from us our ability to interact and partner with GUI, with AI House, with Plug and Play, with so many of the talented University of Washington, so many of the talent centers in our community. So I'm happy to talk next and bring up Yifan Zhang, who is the Managing Director of AI2 Incubator and an initiative born of the Allen Institute for AI. A 2-time founder, she was the CEO of Loftium, an acquired startup focused on affordable home ownership, and Gympact, a top mobile fitness app, which I may need soon, and recognized in Entrepreneur's 50 Most Daring Entrepreneurs and Forbes 30 Under 30. She holds a BA in economics from Harvard University, and she is one of the coolest people I met because she also surfs. But Yifan.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. It's so great to see all of you here. This is a very exciting full circle moment for me because actually my first company, Gympact, I started right after college graduation. So I was tinkering with ideas as a student when I was at Harvard. I'm really passionate about getting more youth involved and really excited about the ideas that you have and the ability to build it here at AI House. Also, Leah was the person that pulled me into anything related to the city. I was a founder before, really didn't know that there was a way to access the city and partner. And since then, I think we built some really amazing things, including including AI House here. So what is AI House? AI House is a public-private initiative that the City of Seattle and Mayor Harrell invested in just 6 months ago. It is the first physical hub dedicated to AI in the city. It's a place where AI startups, researchers, students, and industry can come together in person to build the next generation Developers Academy. We were born from the Allen Institute for AI, as Rob mentioned. We've helped launch over 40 AI native companies, now worth more than, well more than $1 billion, and creating nearly 1,000 jobs, most of them here in the Pacific Northwest. In just 6 months, AI House has become a real center for Seattle's AI innovation economy. We've hosted close to 100 events, many of which, if you want to keep in touch, we have a lot of our events listed here. You can scan that QR code as well. We have brought an estimated 15,000 plus people through these doors in the last few months, and now house 20 plus AI startups right down the hall over there. These companies have all received investments from AI2 Incubator as well as outside investors. I'd like to talk about 2 parts of the work that we do here at AI House that are relevant today, especially given the city's new Responsible AI Plan announcement. First, on the topic of workforce development, I'm very excited to see the city's focus on upskilling workers on AI. While certain parts of the AI stack, like model training, are still limited to people like researchers, AI products are surprisingly easy and accessible to use and can immediately help all of us with everyday tasks. The key is, and Leah mentioned this already, you can't just read about AI. You have to try it for yourself and keep using it every day. So at AI House, we've introduced AI to complete beginners through projects like vibe coding hackathons open to non-developers. We partner with Ada Developers Academy to really expand AI opportunities to person to meet AI startup founders in small, personal, interactive groups. These events have already led to hundreds of job interviews and job offers after every single event. We also run AI workshops and panels to help engineers transition from big tech jobs into AI startups. And these are all ways that AI House The second topic is around incubating startups. So in 2025, I did the tally, our Seattle AI2 incubator startups have already raised over $100 million in private venture capital beyond our money. And they're applying AI to really transform real industries like mortgage underwriting, so you can have a better experience the next time you buy a house, that's Friday Harbor. Immigration, turning months-long, 6 to 9 month complex processes into days to apply for a visa, that's KCM. Lowering alarm fatigue for our ICU intensive care unit nurses, that's CalmWave. These are all startups that are right down the hall here at AI House, and they've all raised money to be able to continue their great work here. So it's really exciting, and I want to encourage all the hackathon participants that this isn't just a fun project. Your idea can become a real company that attracts investment, and you can make real impact in the world today. So our thesis here at AI2 Incubator is that AI creates value when engineers and researchers can build alongside industry domain experts who deeply understand real problems. AI House brings together all of these people, and I absolutely see that in the city's policy announcement today as well. I'll end by saying AI is a profound generational technology. But for those of us who work with AI every day, it's clear that it's still the early innings. Building AI products that actually work is still incredibly tough. There's no playbook, the underlying models improve constantly, and the infrastructure is still being built. But the benefit of being early is that we get to actively shape this technology and how it's used. It's exciting to see the city acting as a leader in implementing AI to solve real problems mentioned today, like housing permits to public service responsiveness, accessibility. But I do think that to succeed in this era of AI requires a creative, nimble, iterative mindset, dare I say a startup founder mindset, and a willingness to experiment. That's the spirit of AI House, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration with the city. Thank you so much.
So take that energy, and we're going to be doing a hackathon very shortly because that's the kind of let's go do it mentality and sense that we're about to apply. On that ethic, this is actually the city's second AI policy. The first one was a generative policy, and that iteration was where do we go next? And so the city is now 41 AI pilots in, 25 done, 16 active. And the matrix we had was learn and impact. As AI first comes in, and remember we're roughly 1,015 days in since ChatGPT kind of caught people's attention and blew up. And we said right at the front of industry and these waves is usually not the point at which you make big bets. And so learn first, activate your partners, and then iterate to success. And so this is the second version of our policy, to Yvonne's point, and where we're saying, how do we do this together? To that point, our last speaker is Jared Reimer. He is the lead AI architect for the University of Washington and has become a great thought partner and friend. And hopefully soon we'll be able to announce some even cooler things. And he's responsible for positioning the university as a global leader in AI. You might recognize him because he was a founder of Cascadio, an international managed services firm. You might actually recognize some of his work even more. Anyone here use a Nest thermostat? He had a hand in that. Anyone here watch Silicon Valley? He was an advisor. And Seattle Internet Exchange, he had a leadership role there. So you know what? I'm just not going to put myself any more in a hole. Jared, come on up.
All right, thank you, everyone. So Rob and I had been talking a lot lately about these topics, and I thought it would be helpful in closing to share some of the things I've learned and observed about AI adoption, both in enterprise and public sector. So these are my personal opinions. Probably the most important lesson that I think we've learned is that you need both a top-down and a bottom-up strategy. And by that I mean, you need to provide trusted solutions to your constituents. You need to give them tools, because if you don't, they will find them elsewhere. But you also need to make sure that they have a platform for innovation. They need to be able to build the things they need because they know how to do their jobs better than we do. And what we've observed is that the organizations that have empowered the people that work there to innovate with AI do incredible things that leadership would never have thought of. And that's really the power of it, right? Is it's so incredibly empowering. It makes it possible for people that previously would not have been able to build their own tools to invent things that, you know, really transform the way we live and work. So you need to have both. You need to have trusted solutions and tools that are sanctioned, tested, validated, held to the highest standards, but you also need to allow people to innovate. Ideally, you would do that in a contained, controlled environment, because if you don't, what you end up with is what Gartner calls AI anarchy. The reality is people are going to do this whether we give them the tools or not. There is no way to stop people from using these tools, and nor should we. This technology is here. It's not going away. It cannot be regulated away or banned. It can be the most powerful and transformative thing maybe in the last century, maybe even beyond that. The key, I think, is empowering and enabling people. Giving them a collection of tools is a starting point, but it's not the end. If you give them the platform and the guardrails and the training and the support to innovate, you'll be absolutely amazed at what people come up with. That, to me, is probably the single biggest lesson that I've learned. People are really smart and really creative, and if they have the tools and the opportunity, they will make things better. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people want to make things better, and they just don't know how. But suddenly with AI, you don't need to be a developer. You don't need to learn a programming language. You can innovate in whatever language you speak. AI doesn't care. And that's really, really amazing. Nothing like that has ever happened before. The other thing that's different, AI is the first technology that makes itself better. Every other technology before it was what it was, and humans made it better. But AI has started this virtuous cycle of innovation that we don't know where it leads, but we know it's going to be really impactful. And you know, there's a kind of a cliche. Today is the worst AI will ever be, right? It's only going to keep getting better from here. So for all of its flaws and issues, and they are real, you should expect and assume that this is just the beginning of something much bigger. So I've looked across government, education, industry. I worked in consulting for 18 years and worked with like 100 different companies. And these patterns seem to reoccur throughout those different entities. So my theory is Seattle has all of these things, right? We have amazing industry, both mature and early stage. We have a great and growing investment community. We have fantastic city government. We have leading educational institutions. If you put all of that together, we have a right to play and a right to win. Like, we deserve to win in this space. We have all of the things that you need to succeed. One of the other things, it's important that we bring everybody along. And that's not just the workforce. That is every stakeholder, every member of the community. You'll learn a lot from what these people want to contribute and say. And I think it's easy to assume that, IT leadership knows all the answers. But people come up with great ideas, and engaging them and talking with them and meeting with them and seeing what they build with AI is probably the most interesting thing. So I applaud the city's efforts. I think these are fantastic moves in the right direction, and thank you, everyone, for your time.
All right, with that, we're about to wrap. A few final comments and thoughts and an invitation. So you've heard from a number of leaders, all towards the ethic of we have all the right tools, assets, and people. If anyone can be successful with AI, it is this Seattle, our region, our people. And the invitation is, let's do it together. It is no mistake, and there can be no lack of intention in the days and years ahead. The city is making that invitation with our policy, with our plan, to be a partner in the days and years ahead to do this work and to solve the civic challenges ahead. The mayor, in his work with the city council and community partners, has said, go solve these challenges, open the door, partner. And he wants to see results. He actually has an analogy. You might not like the number, but you got to step on the scale. And unfortunately, it's true in two ways for me. But the work ahead of us is profound. And so with that, Mayor, if you're game, and we can answer any questions for folks, we are at that point. And then once we finish that, we get to do the cool work of the hackathon and see how technology can help the community.
Question for the mayor about this.
Just answer your question.
Okay. Question is, this plan talks about workforce transitions, and I'm curious what sort of workforce transitions the city is planning, and what jobs might be eliminated by AI in the future.
Yeah, it's premature to really, that's a good question. It's a little premature to talk about that. For those that don't know the city's government, we have between 12 to 14,000 employees, whether you're including contractors and part-time employees, and about 80% of our labor force is bargained for unions. So these are ongoing discussions. We work collaboratively with our labor partners, and as we look at certain tasks that could possibly be replaced by AI, we always make sure, as we said, with a human-centered approach, we work with our labor partners to make sure that these discussions are open and transparent, and we see what other opportunities there are. So just a moving object, so to speak.
Can I ask about, I think this is the only other question I'm going to ask, I promise. The generative AI policy from 2023, there's evidence that some departments are using AI, including SPD. I'm wondering, has the city authorized departments to use generative AI, and what's the penalty if they violate any of the requirements like disclosure, like human in the loop?
Rev, you want to take a shot at that?
Yeah, so the 2023 policy is canceled and replaced by the new policy. And the new policy actually says follow the security, privacy, and responsible use structure that we've implemented in that policy. And we want you to use AI, but there are the prohibited use section and the high risk. And then you have to follow that structure, but then do use it. And the IT department has to review those things with them. So there aren't any penalties per se, but you do have to go through a rigor and process. The other thing that we are implementing as of September is, as part of the Mayor's Information Technology Subcabinet, a review process of all those AI uses to make sure that there's a cross-check, and if there are any uses of concern, that we see those, and if we have to come back to any, that we do so.
And if there's been any, in that interim period, if there's been any use of AI that was not authorized,
We come back to those.
Is this retroactive?
Yeah, and we come back to those, and if they want money to fund those, then like the ongoing money, because the AI is not free, then those are then captured, and we can say those need to be identified, and you have to answer those questions. And so it's a way to put rhyme and reason and controls where they need to be.
Yeah, I just wanted to also, talking to folks that I don't get the privilege of interfacing with a lot, is that I also I chair the Technology and Innovation Committee for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And the U.S. Conference of Mayors is a national organization where the mayors of both all the major cities and smaller cities and towns convene several times a year. And we, in my capacity as chair, I've shared with them our first version of our AI policy, our second version of our AI policy, and talk with them about what we're trying to do here in Seattle. So I'm saying all that to say that as we have fun developing our tools here, that we're in a position to share them with other cities as well. And when we talk about leading in this space, this gives us the opportunity to truly lead. So a question back here.
Hi, Anna Everton with Bloomberg. As you're proposing and implementing a broad spectrum of policies, tax policy, public safety policy, all the things that would attract companies to Seattle, how do you weigh both competition with and kind of the beneficial relationship with the East Side, and how
the East Side?
Yes, and how
like the Bellevue?
Bellevue,
or New York,
Redmond.
we say East Side.
No, not quite that east, just really close east. And when a company is choosing where to bring their employees and get established, hopefully eventually lease office space, how do you make Seattle more attractive than other kind of close-in parts of the region, or is that even important to do?
First of all, I want to thank publicly all of the great partnerships we have with Bloomberg in many capacities. They've been a partner with us in this space and other initiatives that we're trying to work on, so I want to acknowledge that. To answer your question directly, we are competitive here. I want the talent here in Seattle, not in New York or Bellevue, wherever you describe that. And so what we try to do is look at everything we have to offer here. The fact is that we're much larger than Seattle. Than Bellevue. They're a small city, number one. But number two, we have our own soul, our rhythm, our culture here. And I own that. I have to go there for meetings and whatnot, and I tell people, you want the coolest restaurants, the best music, the best culture, the best arts, the best waterfront. Look how cool this is. They don't have anything like this in Bellevue. And so we think that to have a sort of cool cultural rhythm here in Seattle, that puts us on the map. And quite frankly, look at the diversity we have in this room. So I think Seattle has its own unique history that we play to for employees. We are bullish on climate change, race and social justice. We are leaders, innovators. The Seattle World's Fair was not in Bellevue, it was here in 1962, which put us on the map. So yes, we're very competitive here. They do not have an AI house in Bellevue. We thought of it here. So we will compete, and you all are with me, right? See, that's why they're here. That's why they're not in Bellevue. And we have to be realistic enough to know that not just Bellevue, but San Francisco and other cities, Austin, Texas as an example, and quite frankly, we're also collaborative. We have to be. Some of our greatest ideas may come from other places. We'll just replicate them, change them, modify them, and bring them here. But that's part of the journey of entrepreneurship. That's what entrepreneurs do. But I welcome, in fact, let me close that question by saying thank you for being here in Seattle. You do have choices on where you spend your most precious commodity, which is your time, your talent. Thank you for being here in Seattle, and I do not give you permission to go anywhere else, by the way. Okay, if that's all the questions, why don't you close this out, Rob? I'll close with saying thank you. I look forward to the hackathon. But go ahead, Rob.
Actually, that's it. Well, we're about to have some fun with the hackathon, and just a reminder what it's about: connecting youth and mental wellness. And that was a challenge the mayor set. It's one of the One Seattle initiatives. So let's go and do great things for the community. All right? All right?